Donald Trump, Tulsa rally fails to draw expected crowds amid virus fears. U.S. President Donald Trump has held his first campaign rally since the U.S. coronavirus lockdown began, in front of a smaller-than-expected crowd. Mr. Trump had boasted earlier this week that almost 1 million people had requested tickets for the event at Tulsa's Bank of Oklahoma Center. But the 19,000-seat arena was far from full, and plans for him to address an outside overflow area were abandoned. There had been concerns about holding the rally during the pandemic. Protesters toppled statues across the U.S. 4 reasons why this was a bad week for Trump. Tulsa confronts violent pest ahead of Trump rally. Those attending the rally had to sign a waiver protecting the Trump campaign from responsibility for any illness. Hours before the event began, officials said 6 staff members involved in organizing the rally had tested positive. However, it is unclear why attendance was lower than initially anticipated. Mr. Trump, who spoke for almost 2 hours on a range of topics, referred to those in the stadium as warriors, while blaming the media and protesters for keeping supporters away. There were some volatile scenes outside the venue, but no serious trouble was. Mr. Trump's re-election campaign event was one of the biggest indoor gatherings held in the U.S. since the country's COVID-19 outbreak began, and came at a time when Oklahoma is seeing a rise in confirmed cases. More than 2.2 million cases of COVID-19 and 119,000 associated deaths have been reported in the U.S., according to data from Johns Hopkins University. What did Trump say? In his opening remarks, Mr. Trump said there had been very bad people outside, they were doing bad things, but did not elaborate. On the coronavirus response, Mr. Trump said he had encouraged officials to slow down testing because it led to more cases being discovered. He described testing as a double-edged sword. The Trump campaign event in Tulsa had all the color and character of one of his typical rallies. The Make America Great Again hats, the Hillary Clinton lock her up chants, the ear-piercing soundtrack squint. And it felt like the kind of raucous celebration that powered Trump to the White House in 2016 and buoyed the president through the ups and downs of his presidency. The only thing missing was the capacity crowd, as vast swaths of blue upper deck seats remained empty even as Trump entered the stage. Blame the coronavirus for discouraging people from attending. Blame phantom protesters as the Trump campaign did in a statement for blocking access to the rally site. Blame mischievous liberals for flooding the campaign with fake ticket requests, encouraging the campaign to prepare for massive overflow crowds. Whatever the reason, those massive crowds simply didn't materialize. It wasn't a bad turnout, but when your campaign boasts of more than 1 million RSVPs, it's an embarrassing look to hit way below that mark. For a campaign struggling to steady itself amid sagging polls and a public increasingly uneasy about the direction of the nation, the president may have needed more than a comfort blanket rally that harkens back to better days. What's the background? The rally was held amid fears it could become a coronavirus superspreader event. In a Facebook post, Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum acknowledged that Tulsa's residents were divided over it being the first city to host such an event. We do this as our positive COVID-19 cases are rising, but while our hospital capacity remains strong. Some think it is great, some think it is reckless. Regardless of where each of us falls on that spectrum, we will go through it as a community, he wrote. Emotions have also been running high following the killing of an unarmed black man, George Floyd, by police in Minneapolis last month, which sparked widespread anti-racism protests. Mayor G.T. Bynum declared on Thursday a curfew covering the area around the Box Center, citing the risk of civil unrest. But on Friday, Mr. Trump announced that the curfew had been lifted for our many supporters. Mr. Trump had initially planned to hold the rally on Friday, but he changed the date last week after learning it fell on the 19th of June, known as Juneteenth, which marks the end of slavery in the U.S. The choice of location is also controversial. In 1921, Tulsa was the scene of a massacre in which white mobs attacked black people and businesses, killing an estimated 300 people. At a peaceful Juneteenth rally in Tulsa on Friday, the civil rights activist Al Sharpton said campaigners could make America great for everybody for the first time.